Good evening, good evening. It is 6:31. We are going to go ahead and get started. Good evening. Thank you so much for coming. I'm going to call this meeting to order and announce that a quorum is present. And we are going to start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Would everybody please stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Lord, we just thank you for allowing us to be here. God, we just thank you for your presence in this place. And for all that you are doing through it, God, we just thank you. All the things that are going on. God, we just thank you for all the leaders, all the volunteers, all those who pour in this amazing city. As we look at the business tonight, God, we just ask that you are present. Watch over and protect everyone here. Thank you. Love you.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming this evening. I love to start our council meetings with a service recognition. We are recognizing Officer Desi Rodriguez for his 25 years of service. So I'm going to come down.
As the mayor presents this award, I just want to mention that Senior Police Officer Desi Rodriguez attended Alief Elsik High School, graduated in 1992. In 1999, he attended Houston Community College Police Academy and graduated in March of 2000. On May 25th, 2000, he started his law enforcement journey with the city of Meadows Place as a reserve officer, and a few months later was hired full-time where he has been for the last 25 years. Senior Police Officer Rodriguez enjoys training younger officers while in the field training program and is always available to give them advice and guidance on the many aspects of policing. Senior Police Officer Rodriguez has received multiple awards for police service during the past 25 years, to include Officer of the Year, Chief's Award of Service, and other commendations for meritorious service. Congratulations on 25 years of service, Officer.
All right, the next part of our agenda is reports, and we're going to start off with Chief Gary Stewart with the Police Department.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As usual, we'll start off the report with our number of accidents that are reportable, 9 this past month. Number of arrests, 12. Calls for service, 3,601. 54 reports. Traffic citations, 421 with 1,061 total charges. City ordinance violations, issued 8 warnings for traffic, 166, with charges of 319. Our city warnings for city ordinance violation, 31, and total activity count, 5,682. Assaults for the month were 2, BMVs 0, 0 burglary residents, and 0 for burglary business. City ordinance again was at 39. Criminal mischief was 1. Fraud 1. Robbery, we had 0 robberies this month. Total property checks were 3,100. Theft 7. UUMV, unauthorized use 1. And TLC program 9 passing, 2 failures for a total of 11 contacts. City ordinance breakdown at the bottom, you can see down there the warnings were issued for 7 solicitor, 22 for junk vehicle or parking in various locations, 2 for loud noise, citations issued with a 4 solicitor and 4 for junk vehicle or parking violation. The 9 reportable accidents, none were in the roundabouts. and or in various areas of the city. We also worked 15 traffic hotspots based on complaints, with 4 citations issued for observed traffic violations. Moving on to the regular report, as those are covered on the first few pages, the stats that I just gave you. If we can flip to page 5. You'll see our flock safety alerts total was 117, up from 26 from the previous month. 5 for stolen vehicle, 52 sex offender, although 46 hits came from the 3 same vehicles. The stolen plates, 3 alerts, 2 for gang or suspected terrorist, 0 missing persons, 0 warrant, 53 for protective order, and 2 other agency hot lists. Moving on to total of arrests. On the next page, you will see we had the UCW, possession of marijuana of 2, 1 for possession of marijuana 1, warrant or the jurisdiction with a possession of controlled substance and an unauthorized carrying of a weapon 1, warrant other jurisdiction other than 4, UUMV OJ, which is other jurisdiction, tampering with a record 1, warrant other jurisdiction with failure to ID fugitive 1, 1 for evading arrest in UCW, and 1 for PCS. And those notes are below that so that you can see the course of action for those arrests. Moving on to page 9, which is additional notes. Talk about our grant status. We are pretty set up with our dispatch console. We're just got some final scheduling for installation on the final process and piece, and hopefully that's this week, and we'll be up fully running with it. Our car camera and body camera grant is in progress. We have 2 cars remaining for installation on that. Flock grant and catalytic converter funding is in progress, and finalizing payment should be this week. Talking about our TDM and FEMA recovery, working with FEMA and TDM both, but finalize barrel submission Cat Z. Administrative cost is the only thing pending before we close out on that. Working with TDM also for our hazard mitigation update plan. You know, we did for 2 grants, so we're focusing on the generators and our drainage outfall, and we're waiting for any feedback from those from TDM. Officer Werstoga, our newest officer, is currently in phase 4 of our FTO program, and he's headed for alert training this week. We do currently have 1 full-time position open for a police officer. And at this point, as we're getting with this sign out here for 4th of July, MPPD has completed the IAP, and we're prepared for the 4th of July celebration. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
Thank you so much, Chief. Council, do you have any questions for Chief?
About the school alarm that was going off the other night at like midnight. Somebody called me and I went up, but it's already taken care of. Is everything
Yes.
okay?
Yes, everything is fine.
Okay. I missed all the fun.
Yes.
All right, any other questions for Chief?
Good.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. That brings us to our Parks and Recreation report with Colleen.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. This report will serve to cover the months of April through June. In event recaps, we had concert in the parks. We were actually able to host 2 of those out of 3. One we had to cancel due to rain. That was the last one on May 2nd. But the first 2, being April 14th, you guys up there, our council, helped support that event by cooking hamburgers and hot dogs for the community. That was the event previous that stood on its own. We moved it to the concert series. It really was a great success this past year. And we had Ghost Rose perform. And so we anticipated that there were about 300 residents that participated in that event. The next one was April 11th, the Gary Kyle Band. We had food trucks out, and we estimated there were about 200 individuals at that event. Moving on, we began our pool and summer camp. Both opened, and they have been very busy with kids and families, rentals, and lots of rain. But they have been making the best of it all the way around. Even the Marlins have been able to have their events out there and their practices. So we've started off to a really good season, and honestly, we're almost halfway through the summer, believe it or not. BFF, we had our first one last Friday night with 66 kiddos that participated, and that was not only in the regular BFF, but also the junior BF combined. Projects we completed during the months of April through June. Our YAC group, they built 2 additional little libraries. One of those has been installed at the Brighton Park. The additional one is here right outside of City Hall on the little sidewalk, and we've also installed a bench there. And I just wanted to mention that we really are focusing on bringing amenities to this side of Kirkwood, and so those are 2 new amenities that we have put in place over here for residents to be able to access. We also will be relocating 2 of the little libraries that are in the McDonald Park. Currently there are 3. Those are hit constantly with the pirates that are stealing the books. So we decided that we will leave 1 there and relocate the 2 others. Those 3 in that park are registered as little libraries, and they're on the map, the worldwide map of where those libraries are. The other ones that we have within town are not, and they have not seemed to have been hit. So we're hoping that by relocating 2, then if any, we'll just be hit on that 1. I have done a lot of research, what other cities are doing, what comments are. The big thing is it says free little library. So there's really not much you can do in that regard. We have stamped the insides of the books. We have taken different measures to encourage people not to do that, but there's really nothing that we can do legally to keep someone from taking those books out of there and not returning them. So these are our efforts. Next, at Lake Jessup, we have replaced the 2 fountains that were in the lake. Both of them had issues. They actually lasted longer than the lifespan of those fountains are supposed to, so we were told. So we definitely got some good use out of those. And we have put 2 in place, and those were funded through EDC at $16,800. Our next project were the new American flag banners. If you've driven through town, West Airport, Kirkwood, Dorrance, those are our new banners. Also, those were funded through EDC at $6,000. And then we have a plan to install some new trees. These are going to be very large crepe myrtles, fully matured crepe myrtles at the entry of 59 and West Airport. And this will be behind the marquee in an effort to make it look more full and pleasing and inviting as you drive into the community. And then we'll also be planting one at the fire station in Kirkwood. We have already ordered these trees. They were paid for also by EDC at $2,000, but they will be holding those for us until September so that we don't have to worry about watering them throughout the summer. They'll keep them and maintain them until September, drive down here and plant them for us. So it's a really good program that we found to be able to do that because these are larger than anything that'll fit in any of our trucks. Staff updates. We have hired and trained 36 summer staff for the pool and summer camp programs, and all the training was done in-house by certified staff. Next, our recreation coordinator, Will Bolin. He is a new dad for the first time. He, baby, and mom are doing very well. We met with PD, fire chief, fire marshal to discuss our July 4th event and get all parties signed off on the permit. Chief and I were really excited that we were able to get that done early this year instead of a week or 2 prior to the event. But this is something that we take very seriously and make sure that all parties really look at the site plan, look at the event itself, all of the resources and strategies that we have in place to keep people safe. So it was signed off by all, and we are ready to move forward for next Friday's event. You're probably wondering why I have this thing on my little console up here. Well, I met with the City of Pearland to discuss a joint program to assist with reintroducing and breeding the horned-toed lizard. So this is a program that Pearland is already doing in partnership with Texas Parks and Wildlife through the Nature Center, Dolores Fenwick Nature Center. And this is an opportunity for us as Meadow Place to partner with them share the responsibilities, share the opportunity to retrieve the lizards from West Texas. We bring them back. We will have them in captivity. We keep them for an entire year, run them through a program, let them breed, let them lay their eggs. We incubate them, let the eggs hatch. And this is something that our community will be able to come to the Nature Center and see. If y'all didn't know, which I'm sure you do because you're a school teacher, what is the Texas state reptile? The Texas horned-toed lizard, that's right. And it is a lizard, not a frog. So we're really excited about that. We're still working out the details, how we're going to do it, how we'll implement it. But once it's all in place, this will be something I think that will be very exciting for our community, for the school, and for the state of Texas to help reintroduce these back into the wild. We also, upcoming projects, our baby pool is closed as of today. We are expecting it to reopen within the next 2 weeks. The motor will be replaced. Unfortunately, it is under warranty. So Cameron has helped me out. We've put a notice out to the community, and we'll also be informing residents as they enter the pool area. Our 2018 truck needs a new transmission, and we will be out of service. It will be out of service until that's completed. And once we get our pricing on that, I might be coming back to y'all with a request for a budget amendment. Tennis court camera request. This is something also I was made aware of today. We have had issues with our courts. Periodically, we get comments from residents. We have gone and done a monitoring process. We have talked with PD about different things. But I believe it's time now that we take it a step further and possibly look at putting a camera. What is occurring out there, even though we have signage, and the signage has been there for a while, but we have residents that are bringing their dogs in there and allowing them to defecate on the courts. We have men urinating in the corner on the courts and also in Gatorade bottles and leaving those on the tennis courts. We also have individuals that are leaving the gate open, propping the gate open so others can come in. And card abuse, bringing others in on a 4-person card, and they're bringing 8 people in. Also reports of loud music, and we are noticing damage to our tennis nets. Individuals sitting on them, stretching them out. So it's time, I believe, that we need to move to the next step and possibly post a camera. The card system that we have, we can track the number swipe. So the card that is assigned to an individual, it will record who is entering at that point. We will just have to look on the cameras and see when the damage or when the gate is left open or the other things are occurring to actually be able to narrow that down. But that is something that I'll be talking further with staff and with PD about what we can do and when. Events coming up. Please save the date for next Friday. Obviously, that's our July 4th festival. On Thursday, July 3rd, we'll be setting up. We'll be closing the road, putting out the decorations, setting up tables and chairs, trash cans. A dumpster and porta potties will arrive. The dumpster is new, and this is an effort to make sure that we don't have an after show, so that there is no additional fireworks going off after the event. Which we did learn in that very beneficial meeting that Chief and I had with the fire marshal, that last year that company drove off property as they were supposed to at the end of the event, and their trailer caught on fire once again, but in another city. So we want to avoid all of that, and this year we're going to go ahead and have a dumpster delivered, and then the fire department will hose that dumpster down with that debris inside. On Friday, July 4th, from 6 to 9:30 is the event. We have 10 food trucks, live band, The Emotions, 5 full-size carnival rides, fireworks, and then to mention the pool will be open at 11 a.m. and will close at 5 p.m. prior to the event starting. Our final 2 events are Barefoot and Friday on July 13th, and then our pool will transition to weekend hours as of August 9th. And that concludes my report. Are there any questions?
Thank you so much, Colleen. Council?
Just a comment. As a resident of this side of Kirkwood, we thank you for the added amenities. They will be very well appreciated. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Colleen? All right, thank you so much. My
you.
only question is, can we get a webcam on the horned lizard?
Yes, Cameron and I have talked about different things that we can do, and we'll be talking more in detail once we get to that point.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to the fire report. We did not get a fire report from Stafford this month, so I'm going to kick it to Nick with our city administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Two quick items today. First is that on this Saturday, we do have our budget kickoff with City Council. So we've posted that agenda Saturday morning at 9 over at the Emergency Operations Center. We will begin budget discussions. That is an open meeting, and staff has already begun to get together to discuss presentation, and we're actually getting together again tomorrow morning to continue our discussions to prepare for our presentation for that kickoff on Saturday. 'Tis the season. Secondly, want to mention, actually, the second one, I wanted to invite Rod to the podium. I'm not surprising him. He knows I'm doing this. To discuss a meeting that we had a couple of weeks ago with TCEQ when they did a site visit at our wastewater treatment plant. Rob will give you a brief overview of what happened.
Hello, Rod. Thank you for coming.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Overall, the meeting with TCEQ went fairly well. The period of the compliance review was from May of 2024 through April of 2025. And it should be noted that we had 2 operators over that period of time. There were 6 potential violations. 2 of them were mainly for records. We had not reported it to the proper location. We only had reported our excursions through our regular DMRs, and they wanted it reported other places. We have since done so and taken care of that. The other one, second one, was for unauthorized discharge in a manhole, a Hurricane Barrel. We have taken care of that. Unfortunately, the hydraulics of the system forces some sewer water up in a specific location in the middle of the street, and we reported that, no problem, taking care of it. The third thing was for our chlorine contact chamber, where we had solids in the bottom of it, which was, we knew it was still there because we were still working under the lift station. We didn't want to clean that out the last time, but that has now been done. We forwarded the pictures to them, and they're very happy with the results. There was 1 chlorine excursion on site, but we corrected that as they were there. And we had a records request for a flow meter calibration certification. That is something we do on an annual basis, and they wanted it updated. We had just done it, so we didn't have the permanent record. I will make a good note that our city manager and mayor were at the inspection, and the TCEQ was quite impressed with their presence. They were very enthusiastic about how they were participating in the compliance interview. We have resolved it with the TCEQ so far. We've answered all their questions, and so that's the good news. On a different note, if anyone wants to come back to the plant and see how good the effluent is looking at this point in time, it's improving daily. We can almost see the bottom of the clarifier, Charlie. Any questions?
I'll also mention that right before TCEQ showed up for that visit, we had the idea that shortly before they visited, Cameron completed a pretty cool video that showed the progress on the capital project on the plant. And we had this idea that we would cue that up for TCEQ. And so literally these guys are sitting in the office with shirts that say TCEQ across it, and we turned the monitor and let them watch the entire video. And I would say they were
They were impressed. It was
impressed.
The picture that I like the best is the before and the after.
Yeah.
It's night and day comparison.
It really does tell a story, and so we were happy to share that with them. And it was a neat, something they probably don't get to see when they go to cities.
We have to remember the compliance plan is still open. They have not closed the door on it yet. We haven't been informed of any other potential fines, but again, it's still open at this point in time. Any questions?
Any questions for Rod? All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
That concludes Rod's report.
We are moving on to the public comment portion of our meeting. I know we have one. Would you come to the podium, sir? You can hand your card to Chandra right here. This is a good time to let everybody know that Chandra's voice has left the building. She has no voice tonight. We've been whispering to her all day. But just so you know, as the meeting continues, we may have questions for her. Nick and I are going to do our best to answer whatever needs to be answered. So, all right. Okay. Will you come to the podium? Will you let everybody know your name?
My name is Art Keepers. I live at 12243 Alston Drive. Evening, Mayor and Council.
Evening.
I'm going to ask for some help here on an issue. I understand a couple of years back, 2 or 3 years ago, we had code and ordinance, whatever you wish to phrase it, on commercial vehicles in the city. They were 1 ton or over, as I understand. They were not allowed. I understand that was changed. For the life of me, I don't understand why you would upgrade that, amend it, because if I were a possible home seeker in here, that's one of the things I'd look at. I'd want to know the quality of the city. If I see commercial vehicles sitting around the place, trailers, trucks, whatever, I'd at least examine other areas first, and I know other areas do exist. Why you would allow vehicles that are clearly a commercial endeavor to sit on public streets, I really don't understand the reasoning, because it is nothing but degrading to the city. I am here to see, we've lived here 19 years plus. I want to go out of here to independent living, hopefully not too soon, but I'd like to be able to sell my house at prime market rate when I do. I commend the city for what they've done, what y'all have done. You've done a very good job. We've got an excellent police department. That's the reason we moved here, really. I want to also say that in this stepped up enforcement on these stop signs, you can see the results already. I mean, I walk my dog at 5 o'clock in the morning. I see things that most people are not going to see. And it's already having a positive effect. So I praise that, and if I could persuade y'all to reconsider your position on these commercial trucks, that would be greatly appreciated, and I think it would be a betterment for the city. So that's about all I've got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Council, did anybody want to say anything? No? All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Do we have any other public comments? Mr. Henley? All right, come on up.
Yeah, Terry Henley, 12203 Alston Drive. Really, it has to do with two things. One is a question for Kurt. You're the real estate expert, and for some reason I can't get an answer out of the county. I can't get an answer out of my company that does my appraisal reviews as to why most of the houses in the city of Meadows Place, at least the 10 or 15 I've checked, have dropped 15 to 20% in the last year. And what is the reason behind that from the CAD? Kurt?
So I can't answer for the CAD. I know we had the chief appraiser out here. I was not able to make that meeting, but he did come and speak. I can speak to actual sales price. They haven't decreased at all. So it's not the worst thing to be paying less in taxes, and it
Oh,
doesn't
agreed.
affect our sales price at all. There's no bearing on what houses sell for from what you see on the appraisal district website.
Agreed.
And one item to note, it seemed to be all the 70s houses, the homes built in the 70s in Meadows, those all dropped. 80s stayed the same or went up a little bit. 90s and newer went up. And that seemed to be across the board with the county, other areas of the county with similar kind of makeups of when the houses were built. Pecan Grove's one of them, similar kind of thing to where the older homes dropped, the newer homes went up.
But the appraised value they've given the houses compared to the assessed values are, and you know that a lot of them are sold for $40,000-$50,000 more than they're assessed for, which it doesn't make sense.
So Terry, this is a county-wide problem. It is not just our neighborhood. We had Jordan Wise come in, talk to the city. The county actually had Jordan Wise come to the county commissioners as well. And you can watch that on Commissioners Court. It's recorded if you want to. Jordan's explanation to both the city and county is they base it on actual sales. We challenged that and said that's not what we're seeing.
Right.
And they are currently sticking to their assessment. What I can tell you is that the county, it's going to have a pretty devastating impact on the county's budget. They are looking at having to shift about 5 cents from M&O over to INS, which is the bond payments. They are currently looking at a $40 million shortfall in the county budget because the total county valuation went up 1%. If you take out the new build, it went down 1.5%. There is no way this county went down 1.5% across the county. Unfortunately, like I said, the CAD is sticking to their assessment, and it's too late to get them to change it now. It's going to have an impact on our budget, every city in the county, and the county's budget. And they can't recover in a year because of the 10% limit on the homestead. So we expect things to start going up 10% again next year.
Okay.
But it's going to be several years before they can make up that 15-20% drop.
Well, and you raised the point of the county, the budget's the same thing with the city. Because of the assessed values going down and what, ad valorem taxes we're collecting, it's going to be an issue here too.
Yeah. So normally the no new revenue rate goes down. This year our no new revenue rate is probably going to go up about 6 or 7 cents.
Well, as long as it stays below 8% from one year to the next, we're okay.
Well, no, that's just the no new revenue rate.
Well,
The 8% increase.
That revenue rate doesn't.
The 8% increase is going to be about 15 to 17 cents.
Well, we have a budget here, and we're going to have to, certain expenses that you got to address. So.
Correct,
and
that's why
it may go up, 6 or 8 or 10 points, but as long as it's below the 8% revenue rate, we're okay.
And so that's what the council's going to have to look at starting Saturday is how do we address this impact to our budget?
Well, that's the reason I raised, something didn't make sense. And my appraised value from April till now has gone down another 7,000 or 8,000, and that didn't make any sense because I had the record of what happened back in April, and now it's another 7,000 or 8,000 below that. So what is going on? Something, I go online, you can go on Fort Bend CAD and you can look at all this stuff. Anyway. I didn't want to digress here, but
Terry, I forgot to start the timer over here. Was there one other thing you wanted to go over?
Oh, well, my board meeting I had last week, I was going to have a couple of comments on that.
Okay.
And if you want to start the clock now.
Yes, if you don't.
Okay.
Thank you.
Which is,
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's fine. But this was, a discussion that affects all of us, the budget. Now, we did have a TML board meeting last week, and one of the major things that came out of it, in my opinion, is the executive director's retiring at the end of the year, and the executive committee recommended Monty Wynn for the new executive director, and has brought it before the board, and was unanimously elected as new ED effective the end of the year. And if y'all aren't familiar with Monty Wynn, he's been there 19 years. Monty headed up the legislative services and has done an outstanding job. We have the best rapport with the state legislature we've ever had. He has done an excellent job. He knows how to work with people and a positive approach to it, and it's working out very good. So we will have a new ED at the end of the year. And I sent an email to everybody. Unless you want me to cover some of that, I'm not going to, cover it. Is everybody okay? You got an email with some of the highlights. So you're good? No, that's all I have then.
We got it. Thank you so much, Mr. Henley.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, is that our last public comment? Excellent. We are moving on to mayor and council comments. My biggest comment was that Chandra's not going to be able to fully answer this evening, so Nick and I will take care of that. And that leads us to Mr. Stagley's updates about the Fort Bend Mobility Bond Project in Dorrance Lane.
Yep. Once again, no real progress on the bikeway project. We're still trying to coordinate a meeting with Centerpoint. Our schedules and their schedules have not lined up yet, so we just need to get with them. We're also preparing a letter to go out to Stafford, giving them their options. They are also having financial issues, so they may not construct their portion of the project. Unfortunately for them, that means they have to pay back the county what the county has paid on the design fee. And so they need to fully understand that, what's their cost if they don't go forward, and what their cost is if they do go forward. And that's all based on the interlocals between the cities and the county. Dorrance Lane, Phase 2, the punch list has been completed. We're working on final change order closeout documents, and HDR said it's going to be about $100,000 below budget. Part of that is because they always put in some extra items that cover dewatering and things like that for the deep sanitary or the deep storm sewer. It was not needed this year or during that construction period. We didn't have a whole lot of rain. So those extra items aren't going to be used, and it'll help reduce the cost. That will then get shifted over to Phase 3. Speaking of Phase 3, which is the design from Kirkwood to the drainage district or the drainage channel behind the pool, we've met with the engineer. They're working on their cost estimate for that design, and we hope to have a proposed contract to council in July.
All right, any questions for Rick? Okay, we're moving on to our regular agenda items. We're going to start with item number 1, discussion and consideration regarding resolution number 2025-18, approving the 2025-2026 Texas Health Benefits Pool Renewal Notice and Benefit Verification Form, setting the employer-funded defined contribution rate for employee medical, dental, long-term disability, basic life, and AD&D, voluntary dependent life, and additional employee life coverage. Annually, the city reviews these staff benefits and renews medical and dental coverage. I know that Chandra's been meeting with people about this. For the second year in a row, they've been keeping the average rate increases in the low single digits. This past year, there was no rate increase for the city. However, there was a 2% rate increase for medical only. All of other coverage will remain the same. This is about $18 per employee. Per employee, yep.
So this is good information to have for our meeting on Saturday. We can begin to absorb this as we begin to think about putting together FY26 and understanding what some of those forces at work are. Health insurance is obviously one of the biggest ones that we always look at before we begin to crunch the numbers for the next fiscal year. 2% is we were not upset to receive that number.
Were there any questions?
Move that we accept the recommendation.
Motion by David. Do I have a second? Kurt seconds. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, that moves us on to agenda item number 2, discussion and consideration regarding resolution number 2025-19, authorizing the mayor to execute an amendment to the independent contract with Courtney Rutherford to extend the contract to September 1st, 2025. Courtney is our former city secretary. She's been working with Chandra and Nick and I as an independent contractor. Her contract was supposed to expire on May 30th. We're just requesting an extension through September 1st that gets us most of the way through budget season. What this does is, as an independent contractor, she gets access to, she can like log in and get access and see the same things that Chandra can see. Without the contract, she's not able to see, like she's not able to have the same kind of access and help in a full way. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer, or Nick can answer.
What's the financial impact? What's the expected cost?
She has one pending invoice. The invoice is from March to June, and it was for $700.
So not extensive.
No.
Well, I would assume moving forward depends on how much we use her.
It's consumption based.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would move to approve.
Second.
Okay, Tia moved to approve?
Yes.
And David
Yes.
seconded?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That moves us to agenda item number 3, discussion and consideration regarding resolution number 2025-20, authorizing the mayor to execute an amendment to the agreement for the collection of residential solid waste and recycling holidays with Texas Pride Disposal Solutions, LLC. Texas Pride is adding 2 additional days to their holiday operation. Formerly, they've only had New Year's Day, now it's going to be, they're adding Memorial Day and Labor Day. Those are the only additional days. That is going to be along with New Year's Day, Independence Day, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas Day. So it's just going to 6 holidays.
I'll move to approve.
Do I have a second? Emily seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
This may actually cut down on our complaints as people put their garbage out and leave for the holiday weekend, and then I always get complaints about garbage cans being out.
Yep. We are moving on to agenda item number 4. Discussion and consideration regarding resolution number 2025-21, authorizing the mayor to execute change order number 1 with AR Turnkey Construction Company Incorporated in the amount of $19,250 for the wastewater treatment plant lift station rehabilitation project. The electrical conduit inside the lift station is rusted and corroded, and the estimated cost was $11,300. The additional expense of $7,950 was for new pipe fittings required to install the new pump in the lift station. Is there any discussion or questions about that?
I do want to commend our Public Works Director for working with the engineer to minimize this cost best we can. I think they worked well together to, once they discovered this, to try and keep that cost down as much as possible, but we couldn't avoid the change order that we're bringing to you.
Second.
Rick moves. David seconds. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. That moves us on to agenda item number 5 for updates. This is just an update regarding the purchasing agenda. Quick Software, Destiny Software Incorporated for searchable meeting minutes component. I'm going to have, were you coming to the podium for this one? Okay. So I'm going to kick this one to Nick,
It's
and
gonna
then
be
Cameron
okay.
has an A.
It's going to be okay. So, yes, we did go get a quote for the software. We actually went to the county's website to see who they used. We reached out. You do see the quotes, the prices in front of you. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, Cameron is coming to the podium because he did his own good work and research to see if there was another way we could do this in-house in a different way. So I want to turn this over to Cameron so he can visit with you about another way to get this accomplished.
So the solution that the county has is a piece of software that archives all of the minutes and then is searchable by residents or anyone who wants to go on there. The biggest benefit to it is you don't have to know when a meeting took place. You just put in words and it tells you, it spits out everything you need. All I'm proposing is, before Courtney left, we had started, well, even before I got here, she took all of the minutes back from 1984, started scanning them into documents. So they all lived as individual documents per year by month. And so then me and her started talking about why don't we consolidate them into one single PDF. So for 1984, there's a 1984 PDF. That document is searchable. And most of that was for internal use. So whenever you guys would ask a question, it was easier for someone to go in and search the minutes from 1984 and find that keyword with the simple Adobe PDF function of Control F. So so I could literally take every one of those PDFs, create an archived minutes page on the website that's similar, probably live alongside the agenda somewhere. The agendas and minutes that exist now. So the only thing a resident would just have to know what year that particular topic was addressed. And then they would have to open that particular PDF and then do Control F and search keywords and just simply move to next word, next word, next word. And that would cost nothing but my time. So that's just a free solution that we could do starting tomorrow. I can start working on that if that's something you guys want.
So in spirit of our coming up, our budget meeting, I would say that I would love to at least try that first before we take on another cost. That's my personal opinion on it.
How many pages is 1 year's?
Oh, I don't know.
It could be a lot.
It could be a lot, but you got to remember, we don't, unlike the county, we don't have a lot of meetings. So, I mean, any given year we do 20 meetings maybe that have minutes, so it's not as extensive as what you think. In addition to that, with our streaming service, if you go watch an archive video, once it's archived, like tomorrow morning, once Swagit takes care of the video for tonight, it'll be archived with a transcript. That transcript is searchable. So if a person doesn't know what year it took place, but they know it happened at this meeting tonight, they can go find that meeting in the video archive and search the transcript the same way. So there's more than one option to find minutes.
I'm the one that brought this up because I found it annoying that I couldn't search the city's minutes as easily as I wanted. I am good with going with the free option. I think doing it by year, it's not that extensive of a lift if somebody is trying to find something. As a county employee, I'm familiar with Agenda Quick. My staff doesn't love it. And so it does have its own quirks. And so just a searchable PDF is really what I was after.
And the Agenda Quick does not, what we were looking at, the pricing you see starts with the first meeting from the time we sign up. They don't go backwards. And if you go to the county's website, you'll see it's the same thing with them. There is a whole portion of minutes that you have to search by PDF, and it actually gives you directions on the website on how to search a PDF. So.
I was super excited as we were getting the numbers back, and then when Cameron came forward with this idea, I thought this was a great solution to that.
I just got tired of having to open each month's meeting to try to figure out whatever was covered. If I can search by year, I think that'd be adequate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love
Sounds
this
good.
DIY. Got it.
Love it. Thank you so much, Cameron and Chandra and Nick, for doing all of that. All right, that is the end of our regular agenda. We are going to move to consent agenda. We need to consider the approval of minutes for the May 20th City Council special meeting, the May 20th joint City Council and EDC special meeting, and the June 10th joint City Council and EDC meeting. Okay, Kurt, that was the first time Kurt did it tonight. So Kurt is move and Rick is second. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We are going to adjourn this meeting, and then I'm going to open immediately. Yes, we're going to adjourn this meeting. We're going to take a break, and then I'm going to open another meeting. So just letting everybody know what's going on here. With no further business in our council meeting to discuss, this meeting is adjourned.